So we'll have that kind of conversation about this is where the market says you should be priced at, and then we'll go through what the market talks about.
Know that I get it done. In the bands, I be pulling up. Tell your friends, cause I'm pulling up.
These are the trends reports. So I always like going over these. These are the how many are for sale versus sold. So you got 44% of homes do not sell. That's a big number, right? So we have to be aware that we're talking about this. How do we position them to be the one that does? Price per square foot, an average of $91 a square foot. And if if we went on square footage, 150, right? Like high end, right? So 198, we're looking at, hey, you're going to be priced out of the market. Average days on market, so this is actually pretty good, 51 days. And what most people think is, winter time's a poor time to sell. Well, look, average of 51 days comparatively into the spring and summer months. Yeah, right? So that's impressive in the fact that, hey, your opportunity is here now, right? Let's get serious, sign the contract, and put us to work.
Right.
Like, we're not going to not close while we're there. We'll close.
Yeah.
I just don't expect them to say yes. Average price for sale versus sold. So if we're looking at average price for sale is 150, 148. So you see Mr. and Mrs. Seller and the fact that we're up against an average sold price of 150. So I know that you're looking at 198 as the sale price. However, 150 is what our competition is. You see how that puts us in a bind? So we have to make sure that we are the number one condition property on the market available for the potential buyers that are there now, right? Months of inventory, 2 months, anything below 3 is a seller's market, okay? If you look, here's February, 4.9. Everyone buys everything. People put back on the market. Everyone buys everything. People put it back on the market. Everything gets sold, right? You want to be on the downtick when you're listing your home. So if you look right here, you have November's data. So what happens? 2 months up, 1 month down.
So we're in a buyer's market right now.
Seller. Yeah, it's under 3.
Yeah, I told some lady that they're actually, no, we're not.
Seller market?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
Still are. It depends though. It depends on where you are. So like in Painesville, this area at this price point, it's still a seller's market. You may go somewhere else like Middlefield where there's 5 months of inventory, more of a buyer's market. Really just depends on where you are.
So the more the inventory, the more buyer's market it is.
Yeah, the higher the inventory, the better deal a buyer is going to get.
The less the inventory is like a seller.
Better deal seller is going to get. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, and then we're looking at, this is the showings report for the entire year based upon where people are priced at, how many buyers there are, okay? So the average 150 sale price, you're getting 505. Where you'd like to be priced at 198, there's 355. So there's 100 and some more at the average sale price. So there's still going to be opportunity.
Right.
That's okay. We have to make sure we're priced and conditioned the best property on the market, right? So this is the conversation we'll be having with all the paperwork.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go over that information. And seeing as, again, they're a for sale by owner that is taking their time, it probably won't take very long.
Right.
So I would assume that this will be about a 30-minute appointment. And then the key, though, is to solidify us. Why us?
Right.
So let me ask you, how do you think we do that?
Wouldn't really say that we'll show her how we like. Would we show her how we market properties? Not really. I would just kind of be knowledgeable, I guess, about the market.
Okay, well, we just did that.
Right.
Is that enough?
No.
I'll get through to you one of these days. We're going to ask questions.
Yes.
We're going to gain trust, right?
That's what I just need to ask questions.
It's okay. Just repeat that to yourself over and over. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Because when you ask questions, you gain trust,
Right.
right? And as you gain trust, you gain business, period. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to ask questions, right? So while we're here, hey, how did you come up with the price of your home? right? Or what improvements did you make? Take interest,
Right.
right? And then let's say they put in new windows. Hey, what was the reasoning? Why did you change out the windows? You know, were they older? You know, did you just like the look better? You know, what was the reason? Really dig and understand. And then ask questions about why they want to sell it. You know, if it was her mom's home, hey, did you grow up in this house?
Right.
Right? Is there an emotional attachment? Right? Because we need to know that.
Right.
Other questions, you know, you can ask as you go through, what are you looking for in an agent? Because you see, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what I found is that a lot of people do for sale by owner so they can interview agents. What are you looking for? So that way I can tell you if we're a good fit or not. Right? Because then she's going to answer, she's going to be like, hey, I'm looking for this, 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 and this, and this. I say, hey, that's fantastic, because guess what? Now we're telling them about the things they want to know instead of us just, right? Like, that's the worst thing somebody can do is just throw up on somebody, right? Information that they don't even want, right? So depending upon who this lady is, I might not even go over all this paperwork. Like, if they want information, I'll do it. If they're more like me, why do you want to sell? Now, I'll just have a conversation. Some of my appointments, like, we have systems that we do, and we do it the same way every time. It's a system, right? And it gets you the answers you want. However, what did you learn in bold and when we did the listing presentation over there? Well, what's the biggest, like, if we're doing the contract and we're going through the presentation and they're ready to sign and stop, right? Just stop, because they don't want any more, right? They're done. They're sold. Otherwise, you might unsell, right? And that's the biggest thing is sometimes my appointments is a blank piece of paper. I'm just asking questions. Like, just a blank piece of paper. Hey, why do you want to sell? What's your motivation? Where are you moving to? Oh, that's nice. Why do you want to be there? How long do you need to be there? Literally, you should do nothing but ask questions. Because would you rather be told or sold or ask questions and actually feel like somebody cares?
Ask questions.
Absolutely. That's all presentations are. Presentations have a terrible name because you shouldn't be presenting, you should be asking. Because if you're giving information that people don't want, you're not connecting. Have you ever been to a class where, like, the instructor just talked the whole time?
Every college class.
Yeah, and it sucks, right?
That's why I'm not in there anymore.
And it was terrible. However, have you ever had a class with a great instructor who engaged? Yeah, so this is, you know, I don't even go through this. This is for them. Like, don't go through this. Like, the only thing I might do is, like, flip through here when I'm trying to make a point, right? Like, if they asked me, hey, you know, why do you think I should be priced here? Well, hey, let's look at the data, right? Look at how many showings are going on, and then I want you to look at this, okay? This is the graph that shows you, this is where you're positioned, market value. You have a 60% chance to sell, depending upon your market, right? If you're priced 10% above market value, you get cut in half. That's why it's important to be priced correctly, right? And then I'll go to the next page, which is don't listen to what your neighbors are saying or what this person says or what another agent says. This is the data. Understand the data, right? And then the next page shows them why it's important to list at the correct price, because this is what happens. Your first 14 to 21 days are absolutely critical. After those days, look what happens. People start to think, what's wrong with the house? You don't want that. You want it sold within your first 20 to 30 days. If it's not, again, people wonder what's wrong. Okay? So that's why it's so important to have this as a resource if you need it. Otherwise, it's just paper. And I don't even touch it. Okay? It's only there if you need it. Okay?
So you're going to take lead role on this one?
Yeah, sure, if you want me to.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen you do it, so that's what I learned as watching.
Sounds good. Yeah, for sale by owners, like I said, it's a different animal. You know, so it's different than you're going on an appointment with Sally that you know. You know, for sale by owners are normally a 2 appointments gig, right? So, all right. So do you want to practice the presentation piece before we go? Hi, Pat.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Devin. Nice to meet you.
Nice
How
to meet
are you?
Devin. Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, we had an appointment at 2 and it's 2. Do you mind if I come in?
Yeah, come on in.
Awesome. Wow, you have a lovely home.
Thank you.
So how long have you lived here?
Like 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So why did you decide to sell?
Well, it was actually my mom's house.
You grew up in the house then.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Gotcha. So did you play in any sports in the community or anything like that?
Yeah, I wrestled for Riverside High School.
So you don't want to hang out of the house. You're going to sell it.
Yeah,
then.
we were looking to sell it.
Okay. May I ask why?
Just I don't live here anymore. It's just we're just you use some cash. Why not?
So let me ask, do you think it's helping or hurting you having the house on the market right now?
Probably hurting them if it's like that.
Because you want the most amount of money possible, right?
Right.
Right. And in order to get that high value, you have to have high value.
Right.
So I got some stats here. You want to go over what's going on in the market?
Sure, that would work.
Sounds good. How did you determine your price right now? 198, right?
Yep. Like I said, we refinished a lot of things. We looked on Zillow. Just kind of came up with.
So you looked on Zillow, you saw the competition, and you came up with 198.
Yeah.
At what price do you become not a seller?
I guess if it's too high.
I mean, if a buyer came to you tomorrow and offered 150, would you accept it?
It's a little low.
I gotcha. Okay. So we're sticking around that 198 price then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So do you see how we walk through, and this is how today's gonna go, right? I'm gonna close, and they may say yes, great. I close, I give them the opportunity they need to make the decision that's gonna be best for them. At the same time though, what did I do? I asked questions, because then you're talking. Well, not you, however, the client is talking. Make sense? They get the answers that you need to ask the next question. We went into this with the notion that you weren't signing, yet you did. I don't know if it's because you're a pushover, or if it's because, again, when you create and build trust and you answer their objections, you truly answer them.
Right.
You don't just beat around the bush. They're gonna trust you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would be awesome if December 25th, you're ready to work with an agent, I already have a buyer lined up. You're creating the best opportunity to get an offer day one.
Creating urgency.
Urgency.
Very good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool?
Cool.
All right. So let's go win this.